Okay, guys, are you able to hear me properly? Let's wait for 5 minutes for everyone to join. Tomorrow you will be having your class because tomorrow I'll be taking up a class on setting up MongoDB. As you know, like MongoDB setting up is also kind of 30 minutes task since I have to describe and repeat the steps. So that actually has been scheduled for one entire lecture. I don't want to waste a weekday on that. So that is the reason tomorrow I'll be taking up lecture on that, and I'll be posting the recording for whosoever won't be able to join it. Never mind. Let us just wait for 2 minutes for everyone to join. Hmm. How many of you are gamers over here? Like Valorant, CSGO, or PUBG? Like good, good gamers, not noob one. Anyone? Oh, you Valorant? PUBG, okay. Okay, anyone else? Everyone PUBG. No one's here for Valorant. GTA is though it's a game of when I was small I used to play GTA when I was in 6 7 class. I was a absolute gamer that time. Like every day after exam, after class, after anything, I anyhow used to find out around 1 hour or 1.5 hour and used to play like anything. Okay. Anyone else? Just three gamers? Guys, life should not be so boring. What do you do? Like to, you know, kind of whenever you are free, then what do you do? Like outdoor games, right? Volleyball. I play badminton. Great. Movies and web series, yeah. Movies and web series are addictive. Yeah. Volleyball. Good, good, good. Great. So yesterday, whatever I did teach you, I play Valorant and good movies. Oh, nice. Okay, great, great. So yesterday, what did we do? We actually learned about the get request and post request also. Yeah, post request also we completed. Today we will be learning about put and delete. Put is basically for updating and delete is, as the name suggests, it's for deleting, right? And apart from that, you guys will be given certain assignments. Like yesterday, what did we complete inside our requirement.js? Let us just update the requirement.js. This is done. This is done. And this is also done. Okay. Today we will be learning put request and delete. Okay, great. Anyone has a PS5? PS4? Anyone? No one? Ah, only in dream. Okay. I get it. I understand. It happens. Do a good internship. If you are way too much into gaming and all, then do purchase a. No, do not, do not. Oh my God, your parents will say that you are going for web development boot camp or you are going for these all things like wasting your money in PS5 and PS4 and these all things. Okay, when you do a job, then you buy. Okay, okay, great. So yeah. Here is the put request. Okay, so for put request, let us just design our API for put request. Things are similar. You just have to understand the workflow and nothing more than that. So over here, first of all, Let us just find out a way to basically have our entire thing. So first of all, let us have our like put request for updating our book database. Okay, for updating our book database and for updating our publication database. So let me make you understand the importance of what I'm right now trying to do. Let us first understand the workflow. What are we going to do? Let us just suppose one thing, that one publication can publish, like one book can be published by just one publication. Okay, one book cannot be published by more than one publication. Okay, let us just suppose this thing as of now, because our book is not very popular, and for every book, I guess all the books have one particular thing, that they are published by just one publication, and no two publication like collaborate to publish one particular book. So let us just assume that one book is basically published by one particular publication. So let us just update things. Okay, let us just update things. Let us try to do one thing, that inside our book, let us try to update the publications array. Okay, so let us add another publication. Just a second. Okay, so let us just add another publication, like let us suppose that there is another publication called 2, and by mistakenly someone has written here publication 1, and I want to update this publication 1 to publication 2, because later on I found out that okay, this particular book with ISBN 12345 book has been published by publication 2 and not publication 1. And here also, when I'll have the publication 2, I'll update the book array of publication 2 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 book. Okay, got it. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, later on you can also go around this publication and you can just update this to an empty array. Okay, that's your task. I'm just doing what? I'm just adding a new publication, updating that particular publication's book array with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ISBN book, and then I'm just updating this particular thing with the new publication. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Let us just do that particular thing. Okay, so let us go to our index.js and let us have our, yeah, this, and let us paste it, and let us write here update publication and book. Okay, pub and book. Just understand that it's for publication and book. And what can be our route, like our endpoint? It can be publication, update, slash probably the book, and then the ISBN of the book. So since it has ISBN of the book, so this is basically your parameter. So inside parameter, I'll be putting this, and here I'll be removing it. Okay, great. This is public, and over here, update the publication and the book. Okay, and the method is put method. Okay, the method is put method. Great. After it, let us just write a API. So bookie dot put, and over here, let us just have our endpoint over here. Control C and control V and slash, and then ISBN. Okay, and after that, let us have our callback function ref comma res, and here we have the body. So first let us update the publication database, and then let us update the book database. So what will be the things? Update the pub database, and apart from that, another thing will be update the book database. Okay, so these are the two things I'm going to do over here. So let us just do this. So database dot publication, and then I'm going for a iteration over here. I will traverse the entire publication thing, and I'll just push the entire ISBN of the book to the publication ID. Okay, whosoever's ID is basically matching to whatever publication ID I need to pass into, that particular thing I will be doing over here. Okay, got it, guys? Understood? So inside, basically where you will be getting the publication ID, inside the request body, you will be passing a JavaScript object like this. You will be having a ID over here and something like 3 or 2 or anything. And from the request body, you will be getting the entire publication ID. And you will be checking in the publication database that whichever publications ID is matching with this particular ID you have passed in the request, inside that publications inside that publications book array, you will be pushing in the new ISBN, okay, whichever is passed inside your parameter. So that we are going to do. So let us have our for each loop. Like, since it's like an easy thing, okay, because you guys are familiar with for loop and for each loop, because this is a normal language related thing. So I'm assuming that you are pretty familiar with what is for loop and for each loop. Okay, so for each loop is basically similar to for loop. It is just the ES version 6 format of for loop. Here you have for each, and then inside that, similarly, you are iterating through the entire publication database, and individual publication is basically called as pub. Okay, individual object inside the array is basically called as pub. And then here we will be checking in if pub.id, because every publication has its id, is triple equals to the request dot body dot pub id. Okay, so inside your request body, I told you we will be passing in an object like this with the key called pub id, and then we will be having certain value over here. So that same thing we are going to do. Okay, so similarly from that only, from the request body only, we are accessing the pub id. So after accessing the pub id, we saw that okay, the pub id, whichever id is present in the publication, we have fetched that, and we have got that id from the parameter, so we know that which publication we need to update. Now what we need to do, we just need to return what we need to go to the publication books, and we need to push our new ISBN. Okay, so from where we are getting the ISBN? From rec.params.isbn. We are getting the ISBN from rec.params.isbn. Okay, similarly, here also you are going to do the same thing. Here also you are going to do the same thing. So let us do that same thing. So database dot books dot for each. Since here you are traversing publication, here we are updating the book database. Okay, so that is the reason why we are going into the entire book array of object inside your database. Okay, and let us just assume that individual book is called book inside this, and here if book dot ISBN, that is the key of your of individual book object inside your array of objects, is equals to rec dot params dot ISBN. Inside your request, here you have your ISBN. So if it is equal to that ISBN, then we will just do one thing. We will go to the book dot publications, because inside your book database you can see that there is a publications array. Okay, so what we will be doing, we will be just assigning with our rec dot body dot pub id. Okay, inside your request body you have a pub id, you will just be basically assigning it to that. You can also do this since it's an array, and if you are validating that okay, one book can be published by more than one publication, then you can do this like a push command. Okay, you can have your push method, and after having your push method, you can just push the rec body pub id into the publications array. Okay, but right now I'm assuming that okay, inside your publications array you cannot have more than one publication, so that is the reason why I'm reassigning things. Okay, why I'm reassigning it, like here I'm just accessing the publications and I'm just assigning it with the new publication value. Okay, with the new publication value. So this is how it is done. Now here you need to have an empty return statement, because it's a data like it's an entire loop, so it needs a break. So that is the reason whenever this is happening, you just return. Okay, so that further iterations do not happen, and extra time is not consumed, right? Great. So this was our entire logic. Now, after this is done, let us just give a response so that we are able to see, okay, things have been done. So let us just return a response with a JSON object. So yeah, inside it, let us have an object. So inside the object, let us have our book database. So as to see that things are working properly or not, inside our Postman will be getting these all outputs, and there only we can check that things have worked properly or not. And after books database, let us have our publications database, because these have been updated. So we have to check out if things are updated properly or not. So publication. And then let us just have a message over here called successfully updated. Okay, so successfully updated the publications and the books database. Okay, so this is done. The entire logic is ready. Now what I need to do, I need to go to my command prompt. I need to cd over to desktop, and then I need to cd over to my, what is the name of the project? Book API. Okay, and then npx nodemon index. Server is up and running. Let us open our Postman. Postman will take few seconds to open. Till then, let us just have a new publication over here so that we can add in that particular book inside the publication. Okay, so let us have a new publication over here. You can add in that publication using your database as well, like using the API, sorry, using the API as well. I'm just doing it manually because if you refresh, then things will again go. So that is the reason I'm doing manually. Though you can do using that process as well for testing purpose. Okay. So let us have its name as writex2, writex2, and let us have it books array empty. Okay, so let us have this. Got it? So after doing this, let us just see if our Postman has opened or not. Yeah, it has opened. And let us go to our localhost 3000 and let us see what was our API. So our API was this pretty long API endpoint. Let's go over here. Okay. And inside the ISBN, we have to pass in the ISBN over here. That was 12345 book. Okay. And inside the body, we need to pass certain things. So what is the thing we need to pass? The pub ID, right? So let us have our pub ID over here. Pub ID. And let us have our pub ID as 2, because over here we have our pub ID as 2. So what should be the result inside this books array? There should be a book called 12345 book. And then inside this publication, there should be a publication called 2 instead of 1. Okay, that should be the output. So let us have this post as put. You have to change this particular thing because it's not a post request. It's basically a put request. Let us just send the thing. Okay, so we have got the correct output. Here you can see that inside publications you have 2. Okay, and let us check our publications. Yeah, it's perfect. Inside your writex publication you have 12345 book. You can also do one thing. You can put in your own logic. You can go and traverse the entire publications, all the objects, and wherever 12345 book is there, you can just remove that and put it wherever the ID is equal to this particular ID. So you can do that using filter. Okay, you can do these all things. Okay, so right now I just wanted to show that how you can update things. Okay, so this is how you can update things. Got it? Understood? Understood? Yes. Why my phone is vibrating so much? Let me just make it. Yeah, I'll explain it once again. See, here, What we are trying to do, we are just trying to assume one thing, that each book can be published by just one publication. So whenever I'm trying to basically update a book's publication, then over here, suppose I did a mistake and this book has not been published by publication one, it has been published by publication two, and over here the publication two, here books array is empty, so I need to add that particular 1 2 3 4 5 book. Okay, so I need to update that using API. So what I did in our API, logic, I basically traversed the entire publication array of objects inside your database. It's a for each loop which is similar to for loop, and here I'm basically checking that whichsoever publication object has its id key equal to the pub id, whatever you are passing inside this particular body. Okay, this particular body, this pub id, whatever you passed here, any publication whose id is equal to that pub id, that particular publication needs to be updated. Okay, so how to update it? You basically need to push the entire ISBN into the books array of the publication. So we are pushing the ISBN from our parameters to the books array of that particular publication inside your database. Okay, now similarly in the reverse way, you have to update the book as well. Okay, you have to update the book as well. So for the book also, we are doing the same inside our database. Inside the books array of object, we are traversing the entire books array of object, and we are fetching each book, and we are seeing that if the book's ISBN is equals to whatever ISBN is present in the parameter or not. If it is so, then yeah, this is the book which needs to be updated. Once we found out that book, we are basically going to the publications array of that book, and we are simply assigning with the new pub id passed in the request body. Because right now we are not appending or pushing things, because we are assuming that our publication, uh, like one book can be published by just one publication. So that is the reason we are just assigning it and not appending. If you want, you can append it as well. If you think that okay, one book can be published by more than one publication, you can append, you can push. Okay, but if you think that okay, one book can be basically published by just one publication, then no need to push things, you can just assign like this. So this is how we are doing, and here we are returning because it needs to stop gracefully. Like here it's an array, and you are traversing the array, and whenever we are getting one particular book's ISBN, that's unique, that's like that cannot repeat. So that is the reason there only we are returning. Okay, and here we are just returning a response so as to check if things are updated properly or not onto our console, books publication database, and the message. That's it. Got it? Understood? Yes. Great. So, okay. Hmm. Let me just cd over to desktop and book API. Request. Okay, so I have pushed things to GitHub. Yeah, there is a particular syntax, there is a particular logic. You just need to uh, imagine the workflow of your API and everything is done. Just the workflow of your API and everything is done, nothing else. I never do anything or remember anything. I just understand, I just imagine what I want to do, and yeah, after that things happen automatically. Okay, here also you have passed the pub ID and see you have the entire URL and things are working. So I'm giving you 2 minutes. I'm opening the entire Postman screen so that you can have a look at it, and rest all things I have pushed to the GitHub. Okay. Put request, right? Because you already have certain things in your database. You are updating it. So put, though that will be done using DOM manipulation because that's a DOM project. Okay. So you have to do it using DOM only. But yeah, you can do it in other way around as well for your, personal project. Yeah, Thunder client can also be used if you are a VS Code user. Then instead of like having an entire application dedicated to API testing, you can have an extension and you can do that. But Postman has a lot of perks as compared to Thunder client. So yeah, Postman hands down. Are you done, everyone? Okay, guys. Yeah. So yeah. So now let us just go to our delete feature. So let us start with the easy delete one. So oh yeah, I had not updated this one. Yeah, I had updated this one. I thought I have not updated this one. Okay. So after this, we will be having our delete features. So over here, you can work around update and do a lot of things. So delete. Let us delete a book first. Okay, easy. Then we'll go to a kind of typical one. So, okay, let us have our route as book slash delete. Okay, so slash book slash delete. Then you have to pass in the ISBN, obviously, because without ISBN, you won't be able to know which book to delete. Okay, and then delete a book. And after that, public, and here method is delete. Great. Okay, so after this, let us just write our entire like logic. So bookie dot delete, after that your parameter, which is slash book slash delete slash ISBN. See, things are related over here. If you delete a book, then obviously you can have your further logic for deleting that particular book in your publication, author, then updating your author, again updating your publication. Here we are just looking at certain small parts so as to get a vibe of your entire API and know how to design and code API. And later on, when you go to production level project, obviously you won't be asked to build the entire project from scratch, joining in all the APIs and all. You will be given certain part, and trust me, this is enough like what you know, your skills, uh, and later on like we'll be doing a lot of projects, so that is good enough for doing these all things. Okay, like doing a part of API or designing certain API. Yeah, great. So after that, let us have our rec comma res, and then let us have our callback function. Inside our callback function, let us just create a constant called update our book database. And from this, we will just filter out all the books whosoever's like ISBN is not equal to the ISBN provided inside your parameter, because ultimately we cannot delete anything randomly. We have to filter out things. We have to use other methods in order to achieve the delete vibe and delete functionality. So we will be basically updating our book database by fetching out everything whose ISBN is not matching to the ISBN passed in the parameter. We'll be putting in all the things on update book database array, and we will be then reflecting this array onto our response side. Okay, so let us do that thing. So database dot books dot filter, and after that let us just filter out our books. So how to do that? The similar way, here you consider each element as book, and then you have a condition. What's the condition? The condition is book.isbn. This ISBN is the key ISBN whichsoever is present inside your entire this. Okay, I have yeah, inside your entire database. Okay, so over here is not equals to rec dot params dot ISBN inside your parameter, whatever ISBN you have. When it's not equal to that ISBN, you are filtering out everything. After you filter out everything, we just reflect the entire thing. So database dot books equals to the updated book database, updated book database. So we are now finally updating our original book array of objects to the new updated book database, because it has all the books whose ISBN is not equal to ISBN provided for deletion. Okay, great. After that, we will just return with the response of our books and then database dot books. So this is done. This is done. It's pretty easy. Now let us just do this thing in our entire Postman. Let me just copy this out. Let me go to Postman, localhost slash publication. The same thing will be there. Here we have the same ISBN. Now, according to our like estimation, this particular book array should be empty, right? Because you just had one book and you are deleting that book, so it should be empty. Delete. You see the book array is empty. Okay. Similar thing you can test out here also. Localhost 3000. Book is empty. Okay, book is empty. So this is how things are working over here. Got it? And yeah, do this, and then after this we will be going on to a kind of good logic deletion, and then we will be done with this. Okay, we'll be done with this. So yeah, guys, I'm just updating the code on GitHub. Okay, so index.js, this is so awful. Index.js. Okay, delete request. Okay, great. We are doing nothing. We are just deleting our book. So how will we delete our book? We are just going to our books database. We are filtering out all the books which we don't want to be deleted. And those books, since filtered out, a new array is returned. We are storing that array in our updated book database array, and then we are assigning our original book database array of objects with the updated book database array. Okay, and we are responding with the updated, like with the database books which is now updated. Okay, got it? Understood? Yeah, you can filter the book, but what will you do after filtering the book? Because you want to remove the book, right? You can obviously filter out the book, but what will you do with the filtered out book since it has to be deleted? Yeah, okay, take 2 minutes and then we'll go to the next. Yeah, nothing to write in Postman. It is a delete, so there is no body for delete. When you delete something, is there any body? No body. Every data is provided in the URL, in the parameter. Take 2 minutes and complete this. That basically says that when you have your API over here, then what action to be taken? Okay. Here you have action, right? Because for post you need some data. For update you want to update something. So it's basically your API call. There are methods. See, in filter you have some logic. In for each also you have some logic. Then why is it called filter and why is that called for each? Because all the methods have their own function. Delete when passed with nothing deletes that entire thing. Okay, because it knows that okay, delete has been passed, so that means whatever logic is put inside it is for deletion, right? uh, can't we delete the required book object from the array of objects instead of copying the remaining objects? Yeah, you can pop out, you can slice. There are a lot of ways. This is a easy to understand way. Okay, there's never one way for doing a certain. Yeah, these APIs are absolutely restful. Already had told you, because if one API goes down, then it does not affect the rest. So that's the reason. Okay, I guess everyone is done. So let's move on to the next. This is the last one for today, like for today, not for this particular API thing. And then you will be having your um, database, MongoDB. Inside that, we'll be doing things. Okay. So over here, what are we going to do? We are basically going to delete an author from a book and going to delete a book from an author. Okay, so delete an author from a book and vice versa. Okay, great. So over here, what are we going to do? We are going to delete an author from a book and going to delete a book from an author. So what can be the route over here? Here we will be requiring two things. We will be requiring a book as well, like ISBN ID and author ID as well. You can do like a lot of things can be done. Either you can have it as a put request, and when you have it as a put request, then you can pass any one of the things inside your request body. Okay, but in delete it makes no sense, to have a body. Though you can have a body, okay, inside your entire request, like over here for your request you can have a body, and you can type in something over here, you can access your entire, like some author id or book id from there, or both of these things from there. But there is no sense of that and delete, right? Because delete is something where you never give a data. Think it logically. For posting you have some data, think it from a client side. Okay, if you are going to a user interface, you are trying to update your certain information, you feed in certain data, right? If you want to basically post something, you feed in certain data. But when you want to delete something, do you feed in data? You write, this is something I want to delete. No, right? You just click on a button and it triggers and thing is deleted. Okay, so that is what we are going to do over here. We won't be having anything on our request body. We will be making our parameter. We will be making our entire endpoint like that. We will be having two dynamic parameters over there, and from there only we'll fetch. Okay, because logically, according to the workflow, there is no sense of having a body in your delete request, right? Though it's not, it's not something like it's not allowed. Okay, it's allowed, but you should not have it. There's no sense, because ultimately you are not going to use these things on the postman or on your editor. You will be using these things on your user interface for some project or application. So there you won't be having a flexibility to feed in certain data for deletion task. So that is the reason. Okay, let's have our API. So slash book slash delete slash author. Okay, so this is our endpoint. And then our parameter, we will have two parameters, ISBN for the book ID and then author ID will also be having. And this is delete an author from a book and vice versa. Okay. And public and everything is fine. Great. And after this, let us have our logic over here, bookie.delete. Then after that, we have our slash book slash delete slash author. Then over here, let us have our ISBN, and then over here, let us have our author ID. Okay. And then let us have our request and response. Now callback function over here. So let us first update the book database. Okay, so update the book database. Great. So database dot books. This is very easy. Okay, this is very easy. You guys will be able to understand what I'm trying to do. First, we are going to the books database. Then we are having our for each loop for traversing the entire database of your books for all the array, for the entire array of objects. Then let us consider each item as book. And inside that, we will be checking if the ISBN key of the book is equals to whatever ISBN you have passed in the parameters. Okay. Then we will be basically filtering out that particular book. Okay, we'll be filtering out that particular book. So let us just do that particular thing. So const new author list equals to, let us go to our book dot author. Was it author or authors? Yeah, it was author. I remember I had a singular there. Okay, then we will be filtering out authors whosoever's author ID is not equal to whatever author ID you have like inside your just a second. Yeah, just a second, guys. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, I got a call. And that was from customer care. Okay. So over here, what are we doing? We are basically updating the book database. So over here, you have your database of books. We are going to the book database. We want to filter out all the authors whosoever's author ID is not equal to this author ID. Okay, because we are deleting author from the book and we are deleting book from the author. Okay, so whichever author has this ISBN, will that particular book will be deleted from the books array inside the author database, and whichsoever book has this author ID, that particular author ID will be deleted from the book database authors array. Okay, so we are basically going to the book database. This is for entering into the ISBN of the book, whichsoever ISBN you have passed over here. Okay, so once you have entered into the ISBN, now you want to filter out all the authors whosoever's ID is not equal to author ID passed over here. Okay, because that's the new author list which you want, because this author ID you want to be deleted from the books author array. So that is the reason we'll be doing this over here. So let us name it as each author, and then over here you will have your each author not equals to your entire rec dot params. Inside your parameter you have passed your author ID, right? So dot author ID. Okay, now since this particular each author and this author ID, like this author ID and whatever author ID you have, that particular thing is not equal to, you know like, its data type is not same, so we won't be messing up with the data type. So we will be doing percent over here. Okay, and first, yeah, now it's done. So after this is done, we are basically done with this particular thing. Now after that, we will be directly assigning our book author, book dot author, to the new author list. Okay, because the new author list now does not contain the author ID over here, because we have removed that particular author ID. So that is the reason we are doing this over here, and then return. Okay, great. So after this is done, we are basically trying to now update our entire like our books database, right? So let us just update our books database. So this is our book database. Sorry, our book database has been updated. So now let us update our author database. So the same thing we will be doing for the author database as well. So database, why am I doing typo over here? I'm trying to type in fast, so that is the reason. Self-given challenges. For each, okay, so here also the same thing, you are trying to do the same logic. Okay, so for each, and over here you go to the author database, you traverse each author, and let us name the each author as each author itself. And for each author you are saying that if the author ID over here, each author's ID is equals to whatever ID is passed in the parameter. Okay, rec dot params dot ID. So this will basically take you to that particular author which you want to update, like whose book array you want to update. Okay, so here we want to do parseInt because the parameters data type is not same. Okay, so this will basically take you to the required, to the target author whose array of books you want to change. Now you want to change the entire array of books, so you will be creating a const called new book list, and inside your new book list you will be saying that each author dot books dot filter, the same logic, you are filtering out the books whosoever's ISBN is not equal to whatever ISBN you have over inside your you know inside your parameter. Okay, so here also each author, what is each author over here? Each author is basically the author ID, right? Each element inside your entire array is basically the IDs, right? So you do not have to access things. I'll get back to it again, okay? Because it's very easy, but still I know that you will get confused because it's like first API design and also no issues. Here first you have gotten into the entire author which you want to update. Then you are traversing the entire author's book array, and after you traverse the entire author's book array, you are filtering out all the books whosoever's ID, since here ID is already given for the array, so you do not have to do extra things. Whosoever's ID is not equal to whatever ISBN is passed inside your parameter. So over here book, then this is your entire condition. So individual element is not equal to rec dot params dot ISBN. Okay. So after this is done, you just tell that each author dot books will be updated with the new book list. Okay, with the new book list. Okay, and after that you just return. Okay, and after doing this, there is just last thing, just to show things are working perfectly inside Postman or not. You just respond with a JSON, and here we have certain things like we have our book, so database dot books, and then we have our author for sure. So database dot author, and then a message called author and book were deleted. Okay, this is done. Okay, now after this is done, what we have to do, we just have to go here, we have to stop the server and restart it again, because book was not present at that time, since it was deleted. So that is the reason we will be restarting it again. And after restarting it again, we have to basically tell that here we need to pass in whatever is present. So let us do that. So what was the URL endpoint? Okay. Okay. So over here you have it. And then what will be the ISBN? We just have one book, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 book. And then here inside author ID, let us just write ID1. Okay. And we are done, I guess. Okay, delete request. Yeah. Server is up and running, right? Is there something, some issue? I guess there is an internet issue. It will show, I guess, timed out, buffered, and these all things. Server is up and running. My processor has gotten heated. Delete. It will not show, then let me cancel the request. We have the request over here. And there's no need of body over here, so let me just send the request. It's taking more than like, okay, we have everything over here. There's no error. We are going to the database. Let me just check if there is certain error with the code, then probably that's the reason why it's lagging a lot, or else it's just the issue in Postman or the running of the server. The logic is perfect according to me. Okay, so we are updating the author database then. Okay. My processor has gotten, is heated up like anything. I can hear my fan like Okay, this requires. Let me send it again. Mm-hmm. Still, it's taking a lot of time. I don't know why. In second delete code. In second delete code, what? Okay. I have written rec.parents.author ID. Okay. Okay, sorry. That is the reason why I'm thinking that why it's not showing. God. Thanks, guys. Send it again. Now why it's not showing? Or will it come? I guess there is certain other issue also as well. The rest everything is fine, I guess. Can you notice some issues over here? Indentation error? No. Let me see. The logic is perfectly fine. The code is also perfectly fine. There is some sort of like small, little, teeny, tiny error over here. No issues. I'm just debugging it. Okay. There happens certain errors sometimes. Postman is also not giving any response. Okay, so I'm going through each author and here. Here we have dot ID, right, for each author. Yeah, dot ID is there. Dot ISBN, each author, books, new book list, return. Okay, so in the requests, I guess, yeah, that's in string format. This is also in string format, so it's fine. Book.author.filter, and I'm filtering out each author. Not equals to %. Postman send request. Okay, I think I need to rerun the server. What? Okay. Let me just send the request. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 book and author 1, right? Let me send the request. Okay, no issues. If the request is not getting sent, but you do have to keep in mind that because in the code they are not below one another. No, it's not Python. It's fine. It's not Python, it's just JavaScript. So there is nothing like that. Okay, over here. Everything is fine. There is certain error, there is certain small issue. I'll just check it out. Do not worry about that. Let me at least explain the logic of the code. because there is nothing very serious over here, logic issues or something like that. Some basic syntactical issues are there, so that's fine. Never mind. Okay, let me just tell you what's the logic over here. You have your delete, you have here your entire parameters. So you have the ISBN as one of the parameters, dynamic parameter, and one like the author ID. Okay. After that, you have your database, and in your database, you are just going through each of the books inside your book array of object, because that needs to be updated. First, you will be fetching the book whose ISBN is equal to the ISBN provided over here, because that's the thing which you are basically trying to change. Okay, that's the book which you are targeting to update. Okay, so you will be targeting the ISBN, and then inside that you will be creating a new author list, because you need to delete the author ID present over here. So basically what you are going to do over here, you are going to like find out that particular author over here. So that is the reason we are going to the author of the entire book object, and for the author you have your array over there where author IDs are given, and for each author ID you are checking the author ID provided in the parameter. If the author ID provided in the parameter is not equal to the author ID in the array, then you are filtering out the author to a new array, and you are assigning the book author array with the new array. Okay, so that is how you are doing things. Okay, I got the issue. I got the issue. Yeah, you were correct. I actually have the entire thing indentation mistake is there, I guess. Oh shit. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, so I need to copy this entire thing over here. I need to remove this. I had actually done what, Yeah, I had pasted it inside this by mistake. Okay, now it's fine. Now it will run. Send. Yeah, see. Oh, thanks. Okay. Okay, okay. Do not worry about that. I got it. I had, see, that is why Atom is not very good, but it's good for beginners. I was not able to see the parenthesis that I have pasted the uh, another for loop inside a for loop, and I was thinking that it's outside of the for loop. So do not worry. Okay, so after that, you are updating the author database. Once, like, how are you updating the author database? You are going to the author database inside your database.js, and you are fetching the author whose ID is equal to author ID provided in the parameter. Okay, and once you got that author, you are now going into the books array of the author. Okay, so once you got a author, you are now going into the books array, and here are the ISBN provided. So for each element, you are checking that inside your request.params ISBN, if the ISBN is equal to the element, because this itself is a ISBN, then you are basically fetching out. If it's not equal, then you are fetching out that particular element and putting it to a new array, and at last you are assigning your books of that particular author whose ID is given over here to the new book list, because that old book list consisted of the book you wanted to be deleted, and this is the new book list, so you are assigning it to that. Ultimately we are returning. So we wanted our 1 2 3 4 5 book to be deleted from author ID 1, and author ID 1 to be deleted from 1 2 3 4 5 books. So over here you can see that from book this you just have author 2, and for author you just have yeah, for author with ID 1 you just have my book. Okay, and not the 1 2 3 4 5 book. Yeah, so this is how it worked, and it's working perfectly fine. Understood? Got it? I'm just pushing the code, okay? Yeah, I have pushed the code to GitHub. And if you want the API, then this is the API. And yeah, please take 5 minutes and complete the code. Are you guys done? Okay, guys, then let's meet tomorrow. I guess everyone is done, right? Okay, then bye bye, guys. See you all tomorrow. Bye. Yeah, you have a class tomorrow. Just a 30 minutes class. MongoDB setup and all. কি